Hi guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm going to get my camera adjusted there. I've been getting into spray paint art this year and done a few paintings, turned out pretty good. I'm still learning, and I got to thinking, well, why don't I start doing some videos on the things that I've learned and show you guys as I'm going along, for anybody that might be interested in doing spray paint art. And today I'm just going to do planets, because planets are probably the first easiest thing to learn how to do when you're getting into spray paint art. So I'm just going to do 3 planets today, show you the basics of doing them. There's all kinds of ways you can do planets. This is just a real basic tutorial. But I have just a plate down here, a fish food cap, and a Tupperware cap. Use whatever you want to use to make your planets. It does not matter. It's entirely up to you. And use whatever colors you want to use too. So the first thing I'm going to start off with doing, placing the planets where I want them to be in the overall picture. If this were going to be a full-blown painting, but it's not. It's just a tutorial. I'm going to use a light color just to do a light misting so that I know where I want my planets to go. One of the things I have found is I have a very heavy finger. I need to work on that a little bit, doing lighter. That's okay. This is a learning process. So then we're just going to pick up place, and then you can kind of see the outline of where you want your planets to go in your painting. Oh, little bug. I think I'm going to just get going into some different colors, and let's see what we come up with. When you're doing spray paint art, you always want to make sure that your spray paint is shaking really good. You can hear that ball going in there, and that your nozzle is free of any paint that might be dried onto there. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of spatter. And get your crap off of your poster board. This is just a poster board. When you're doing your spray painting, you want to use your glossy side. Normally on a painting, I've been using foam boards, but this is just for the tutorial, so I'm going to use just some cheap poster board. And then you just start throwing down whatever colors you want to throw down. A couple different colors red there. My light source is going to be down here, so on your planets, you want to take into consideration where your light source is coming from. Your lighter side is going to be on the bottom, and where you put your white, and then your darker side, which would be your black, is going to be on the back. That's just the way this one's going to turn out. We hope we're going to see. Let me find my black. Alright, one of the methods you can do when you're making your planets is to take just a free plastic bag from whatever store you want. Lay the unprinted side down. If you use the printed side, sometimes this ink will come off on your painting, and you sure don't want that. So this is just one method. I'm just going to smooth it down a little bit, and then I'm just going to use my fingertips, my nails, to streak across there. That gives you a really nice streaking effect. If you want more streaks in there, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to leave that like that. I like that. I'll put down a little bit more white down here at the bottom. Okay. We're going to let that dry. I have a lot of coats on there, so that is probably going to take a while to dry. Let's then work on our next planet. That one, I'm just going to use a few different colors. Alright, different technique on this one. I'm still going to use a plastic bag, but I'm going to crumple it up really good. And this one I'm just going to set down and pat that down into place. Just to kind of show you the different effects you get. Okay, real good. You know, I think I want to blend those colors a little bit more. Let's just kind of blend those colors a little bit better. They're your planets. Make them however you want to make them. Alright, I like that. Okay, second planet. See the difference between the two techniques of using the plastic bag? This one's streaked and this one's just kind of laid down and spread around. Gives you some different effects. Alright, I think our third one right here. What other colors do I got? I like this prickly pear. It's my new paint. I really like it. So let's do this one down here. See, I got a heavy finger. Need to practice that. Kind of want a light touch when you're doing this. Some orange. Maybe this blue again. This is Satin Lagoon. When you're doing spray paint, you want to use a satin. You want to use a gloss. Semi-gloss will work, or high gloss. And I'm predominantly using Rust-Oleums. I do have some Krylon paints that I like real well. Like that. See how my black is spattering? I don't have my nozzle cleaned off real good. It's alright. You get the gist of it. Now on this one I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to use a plastic bag. I am going to use just some glossy magazine pages. That should give us a really nice texture on this. The whole thing about your planets is you want different textures. It makes it visually appealing. Anyway, okay. Maybe a little streakage. Let's see. Let's see what that gives us. Smeared a little bit more. Not thinking I'm liking that orange too well, so let's kind of cover that. Maybe with just more of our prickly pear. I ain't digging on the orange too much. Better. I can still see that orange, but that'll be okay. Alright. We're going to let that dry a little bit more. What will happen is if your paint is not dry and you go to put your lids back on to spray around it so you have your universe, you're going to end up with rings around your planets. This one's going to take a little while to dry. These ones might be okay. If I end up with a ring, I end up with a ring. It'll be a lesson on what not to do. But I'm impatient. Okay. Let us go ahead and... Probably gonna need a ring there, but that's okay. I want more white up there. I'm going to get a ring there. I know I am, but that's okay. I can go over that. It's alright. I can go over the ring. I'm going to get rings there because that's still wet. That's alright. Next step is we're just going to throw in our universe. You can use whatever color you want to use. You can use, dark blues, purples, black, or whatever. It's entirely up to you. I think I'll use a mixture on this one. The thicker you put your paints on, the longer it's going to take to dry. Just to let you know. In another video, I'll go back and I'm going to show the second easiest thing to learn to do, which is mountains, and different techniques for doing that. So I'm not real worried about this bottom part too much right now. I can mess with this bottom later in another video. I think on this one I'm going to go ahead and put some other things up here. I don't want to use that. Magenta. You can't tell because I sprayed the can, but magenta. That's one of my favorite colors to use. I use that a lot. Put some streaks through there. Pretty good. Alright, like I said, I put these lids down a little too soon. The paint wasn't dry, so I'm probably going to have some streaks in there. Rims around my planets. That's okay. When you go to put your stars in, you really do want your universe paint, black, blue, purple, whatever you use, to dry. If you don't let that dry and you go to throw your stars down, your stars are going to not be as bright white, and they may have a tendency to spread rather than staying as tight little stars. But I'm not going to wait because I need to get this done. Gotta get ready to go to work here in a little bit. Alright, so for our stars, where'd my white go? Just going to use some white. What you want to do is just spray some white on your fingertips. Flick off the excess onto a piece of scrap paper. And then just start throwing it down onto your painting and have a lot of fun with that. That's big fun. Shake off the excess. And you just start flicking. You don't want to go in the same direction each time. You want to kind of vary it. See? Flick, flick, flick. If you want to wear gloves when you're doing this, I would recommend that. I don't usually wear gloves, but it is a pain in the butt to get the paint off of your fingers when you do this. Just saying. Okay, that's pretty good for the stars. Give you an idea of that. Alright, another thing you can do after you throw down your stars, if you find that you have some bare areas and you want to just add 1 or 2 stars, oh, something blew onto my painting. You can use white paint pens. I have ultra fine and a medium. I'm probably just going to use my ultra fine just to kind of show you. Break that up. Make sure I got good paint here. And then you can just plop down your stars wherever you want to put them. And paint pens make really good sized little stars. If you want larger stars, use a bigger paint pen. Use your medium size. Okay, so kind of catching a glare on there. That's what happens with this gloss paint. Let's go ahead and pull up our lids and see how our planets look. I know I'm going to have to probably do touch-up work because I did put these down when the paint was wet. And try not to scrape the painting too much. Okay. All right. Pretty good. There's what you have. Let's see if you can see that. Like I said, planets are the easiest thing to learn how to do when you're first getting started doing spray paint art. And they're a lot of fun to do too. So start off with your planets. In my next video, I'll go ahead and add some mountains into here because, like I said, that's like the second easiest thing to learn how to do. And if you wanted to add any more black or whatever to make these a little bit more three-dimensional, you could do that. It's entirely up to you what you do with your planets. See if I can move my camera. But there's what you have with your planets. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this helps any beginner spray paint artists. And like I said, I do have a little bit of a where my plate pulled that up, but you can easily touch that up with your black if you want it to go over that again. No big deal on that. There's really nothing you can screw up when you're doing spray paint art. It's just a matter of knowing how to go back and fix it or touch things up so it's not real visible. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me as I practice and learn how to do spray paint art, and hope this helps you guys learn how to do spray paint art. Like I said, next up I'll do some mountains, and we'll have some fun with that in the next video. You guys have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. Bye-bye.